12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks a bunch for hanging out with us on GMSA at 9 o'clock. It is, of course, the 4th of July. Happy Independence Day to everyone out there.
Yeah, happy 4th of July. A lot of activities already happening at this hour. The Pearl is already open. They have like a live DJ out there.
DJ, vendors, food, the whole deal. I like the idea of doing it earlier in the day, kind of beat the heat a little bit. So, yeah, shout out to the Pearl. And we'll be talking about all the other events taking place throughout the rest of the day.
That's right. It's going to be all day and all night. Not only in San Antonio, but the surrounding areas as
fireworks.
well. Yeah,
We
you
do
have
love
your
some
options.
fireworks.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do. And then Justin's telling us that, you know, the weather's going to be perfect for fireworks. However, right now, it's starting to heat up.
Yeah, we're starting to see those temperatures turn a corner. So if you're going to start your festivities now, just make sure you mix in some water there along the way because temperatures are going to make their way up to near 100 this afternoon. Another hot one. We do have some good changes on the way. I think you're going to like the forecast. Because we've added or popped up rain chances a little bit as we get into next week. Of course, we've got some tropical moisture headed our way. Right now, 79 in San Antonio, 82 New Braunfels, 77 in Bernie and Kerrville. And we do have some morning clouds, so that's helping a little bit with temperatures, but those will go away. We'll get sun this afternoon. Here's your fireworks forecast. 95 at 8 o'clock, 90 at 10 p.m. Midnight, 85, mostly clear, should be good for whatever you have planned or wherever you go tonight. Here's the latest on Hurricane Beryl. This is the 7 a.m. update. Winds are at 120 miles per hour. So this is still a major hurricane. It's going to encounter a lot of wind and shear today, and that will weaken it some as it moves towards Cancun and Cozumel. But after it crosses the Yucatan Peninsula, all indications are that this is going to take a turn towards deep South Texas, northern Mexico, somewhere in that range. And it could enhance our rain chances quite a bit next week. We're going to talk more about it. Get you the latest forecast with it. That's all coming up in just a couple minutes. Now let's check in on traffic. Are there any cars out there right now?
Justin, there's a whole lot of nothing going on right there. As we take a look at some of our TransGuide traffic cameras, 281 Hildebrand, a little bit north of downtown there, 281 San Pedro, a little bit closer to the San Antonio airport. Things are looking pretty good out there. And you know what? I'm going to take some of that. Our photojournalist, Alex Gomez, he does drive cam for us. Shout out to him, 5 to 7 every morning. He said, good idea. Make sure to top off on your fluids. Make sure that you got obviously enough gas, that you got good tire pressure. We're going to be hitting the road for any sort of road trips, things of that nature. So
and the snacks.
Cannot forget the snacks. That's a must if you're doing any type of road trip. But Stephanie, right now things are looking pretty good if you're about to step outside.
Yeah, looks good. Thank you, RJ. And right now, 4 people are in San Antonio police custody after 3 people were shot overnight. This happened around 2:30 in the morning in the area of Piedmont Avenue and Vanderbilt Street. That's on the city's southeast side. Now, police initially responded to a call about a group of men walking around shooting guns. And when they got there, they found 3 of them with gunshot wounds. Now, all 3 were taken to the hospital. At least 1 was in serious condition. Police detained all 4 suspects.
Well, here's a new development to a story we've been following for weeks. Central Med says that it is officially back online this morning after 2 months after its computers were hacked. So what does that mean for patients? Central Med's computer systems were compromised back on April 30th. And throughout that time, about 400,000 former and current patients' private information was at risk. Some tell KSAT 12 that they've struggled to make appointments, refill prescriptions, and get their medical records. Well, now Central Med says patients can do all of that again.
However, safely caring for patients remains our highest priority. Despite restrictions on the use of the electronic medical record, Central Med has remained open and patients have been receiving care.
That was not my experience. They said walk in. I walked in. I needed a paper referral, a piece of paper that says, Mike, you can go see your cardiologist that you've been seeing for 2 years. This is not new stuff. And they couldn't do it.
All right, credit our John Paul Barras, who's been following this story for weeks now. As for Central Med's compromised file, Central Med's statement reads in part, quote, that we do not know precisely what data was potentially affected. And they add that we have no evidence that patient data was used or that any patient or associate is at risk of or is at greater risk of fraud. But they are still asking anyone who believes that they are experiencing identity theft to call their toll-free number. That line is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Well, he's a top official within the Bexar County District Attorney's Office, and now he is announcing his resignation. Pete Gallego will step aside later this month. Now, Gallego worked as a government relations advisor and then as the communications director for DA Joe Gonzalez. Now, he's also served as a U.S. congressman from 2013 to 2015 and was a member of the Texas State House. Gallego will leave the DA's office on July 16th.
All right, we've gone through a lot on this Independence Day, and here's today's 9 at 9.
President Biden is vowing to stay in the race after meeting last night with more than 20 Democratic governors. The president told them a medical checkup after the debate showed he is in good health. After the meeting, governors expressed public support for Biden. However, several Democrats in Congress are calling on Biden to step aside.
At least 7 people have died so far in the Caribbean as a result of Hurricane Beryl. Hurricane warnings have been issued for the Cayman Islands and Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula as the storm moves closer to us. Beryl could impact Texas next week. The KSAT Weather Authority team is tracking the latest for you and will give you updates on air and online.
This morning, a federal judge in Texas has temporarily blocked the government ban on non-compete agreements, which is set to take effect in September. Supporters of the ban, approved by the FTC earlier this year, argue that non-compete agreements can hurt workers and suppress wages. An estimated 30 million Americans are currently bound.
The parent company of Saks Fifth Avenue is acquiring Neiman Marcus in a deal worth $2.6 billion. No stores are expected to close as a result of the deal, and in a surprise move, Amazon will be a minority investor in the new company, providing technology and other services.
A new social networking app called No Place is now #1 in the App Store. No Place is a modern-day MySpace for Gen Z, offering a customizable profile and a space to follow friends and find others with shared interests. The 27-year-old founder says she's putting the social back into social media.
People are on the move to celebrate Independence Day. AAA says that a record 71 million people are traveling for the holiday. The vast majority are hitting the roads, while around 6 million are flying, and another 4.5 million are taking trains, buses, or boats.
Before you get your 4th of July barbecue started, here's an important recall to tell you about. Hill Country Fair potato salad sold at H-E-B and Joe V's Smart Shop locations in Texas are being recalled because they could contain hard pieces of plastic. Now, Resser's Fine Food is voluntarily issuing the recall. The affected products have a use date by July 26th. H-E-B says all impacted products have been removed from store shelves, so if you have any of the potentially tainted potato salad, you can return it for a full refund.
And now we have to let you know, if you're someone that's planning on shooting off your own fireworks, it could come with a hefty fine depending on where you live. The use of fireworks in the city of San Antonio is illegal and could carry a fine of up to $2,000 for anyone who gets caught using them in city limits.
If you're still trying to figure out where to celebrate, we have you covered on KSAT.com. We have a list of places where you can see fireworks this Independence Day in San Antonio and surrounding areas. Many places have parades, races, food events, and live music planned. Woodlawn Lake is always the crowd favorite, so if you're heading out there to watch the fireworks, those will begin at 9 p.m. tonight. To see the full list of events, just head over to KSAT.com. And that's today's 9 at 9.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be out and about for the holiday, but just keep in mind that 4th of July, obviously time for celebration, fireworks, but it's important to remember about your pets and their safety during this holiday. Some of the loud bangs or activities may be life-threatening or very overwhelming for doggos and cats. So San Antonio Animal Care Services is reminding pet owners to take some safety precautions. Right now on KSAT.com, you see it right there. We have a full list of safety measures to follow to make sure that your furry friends stay safe. Just look for this article.
And another reminder that most offices for the city of San Antonio will be closed for the 4th of July holiday. However, emergency crews will also be available, and the city's outdoor pools will be open in case you need a break from the heat. We have that full list on our website, KSAT.com.
Well, fireworks aren't the only thing that will be going up tonight as Military City USA gets ready to celebrate Independence Day. You also may want to take some precautions to reduce the risk or your risk of catching something.
Well, right now there is a spike of summer sickness, and doctors at University Health say more people are catching respiratory illnesses.
As our Daniela Ibarra explains, among those illnesses are on the rise. That includes COVID cases.
As people prepare to head out on vacation and get together, doctors expect to see more people getting sick.
There are a smattering of other respiratory viruses. COVID by far is out there the most. There's also rhinovirus, which we know classically causes the common cold.
Dr. Jason Bowling is a hospital epidemiologist with University Health. He says the hospital's virology report from last week shows 100 confirmed cases of COVID.
As we know, most people in the community are not tested. That means that there's a lot more COVID that's out there, and that's up from the week before.
But the doctor says there hasn't been a significant bump in hospitalizations.
But nationally, CDC just released data on Monday, a couple days ago, that ER visits across the country are up by 23%, so a significant bump related to COVID.
Summer is no stranger to new strains of the virus. While people might be tired of hearing about COVID, Dr. Bowling says it's important to remember what to watch out for.
COVID hasn't gone away, and it looks like we're starting to experience another summer surge.
Daniela Ibarra, KSAT 12 News.
And yes, that was Daniela Ibarra reporting. If you do feel sick, Dr. Bowling suggests that you basically go back to the basics. Isolate until you haven't had a fever for 24 hours. Mask up for at least 5 days to prevent others from getting sick. And of course, make sure that you wash your hands frequently.
The time now is 9:09 and 81 degrees for now. Still ahead on GMSA at 9.
Hey, we're all about 4th of July today. We're celebrating outside. It's important to remember to keep yourself cool and hydrated and know the signs of a heat-related illness. We'll explain this after the break. Welcome back to GMSA. Thanks for hanging out with us during our 9 o'clock newscast. While fireworks, parades, patriotic festivities are taking place all over the place today, including in Schertz, where get this is pretty cool. They're celebrating the 48th annual 4th of July Jubilee.
Yeah, always a good crowd there. And Tiffany Huertas joins us along the parade route where red, white, and blue colors fill the street and the floats are decorated with patriotic themes. Good morning, Tiffany.
Good morning. This is about to kick off, and I love coming to this event every year. In just a moment, they're going to start that 5K, but I have Skylar here to talk about. I love the bows. Yes. Tell us about all of this.
Oh my gosh, so all the bows are from Not Your Mama's Bow Co. on Facebook. Cousin Saves, this is Riley and Lily and Peyton, and they're all reps for Not Your Mama Bow Co.
And how is this event for you all?
I'm excited. It's my first year here. I usually go to the Seguin one, but I'm excited to see what y'all have here.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. And we're going to walk this way because I want to show you this is just getting started. The lines are going down all the way over here. This is Schertz Parkway and Elbow Road. This morning we have, of course, the mayor of Schertz, Ralph Gutierrez, joining us. Good morning, and
Good morning.
How excited are you?
Oh, this is exciting. This is exciting. Look at the number of people that just joined us today for this parade.
You had mentioned the floats are the big attraction here.
Yes, they are.
Some of the VFWs will be participating.
That is correct. That's basically what today's all about, the independence. And it all started with our veterans, too, back in 1776. So.
What is your favorite part about today, and what can people expect to?
Wow, it's very difficult to pick my favorite part. All of it is great. I mean, from the parade to the music to the carnival that we have, it's great.
What time does this all kick off?
We actually start the Freedom Run at 9:15, 5K run, followed by the parade at 9:30, and then we have the carnival at 11 o'clock, and then we have the music in the park at 6 o'clock, and then we finish it off with the fireworks about 9:15.
That's the big spectacular at night, but I want to show you have a special guest here this morning.
Yes, every year I pick a special guest. I have a driver, a veteran, Lino Trevino is my special guest today.
And I was talking to him. Lino, good morning. A Vietnam veteran. Thank you for your service.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
What is your favorite memory of 4th of July?
All this beautiful smiling faces. You can't help but being happy when you see all these people with their smiling faces and children running around, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
What does today mean to you?
Freedom. Yeah. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. All these years that all the wars that went through, and to protect the freedom that we have here in this United States. So that's beautiful.
Thank you for talking to us this morning. I'm excited to stick around and watch some of the floats here, and he has some flags over here he's passing around this morning. Thank you to both of you. We're going to stick around. We're going to bring you more, but just look at the crowd. Look at this beautiful crowd over here. They're so excited to be here, and it's a beautiful day. They have their sunblock, they have their flags, they have their red, white, and blue. It's just a beautiful day. We'll send it back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Tiffany. Thank you very much, Mr. Leo, right there for his service. And as Tiffany mentioned, all decked out, red, white, and blue right there, Schertz Parkway.
Yes, I love that everybody's like in the spirit. And it looked like there was a little cloud cover, so it's not too hot yet. That's great.
Not too bad, yes. And that is one thing we're going to talk about right now. If you are celebrating Independence Day today, consider celebrating it early, like those folks are doing out there in Schertz, before it gets super hot outside.
There are a lot of places hosting family-friendly events this morning before things heat up, like at the Pearl, with an event happening now until noon. So there will be lawn games, face painting, and opportunities to take pictures, which is good because they can help families with the young kiddos celebrate while avoiding the heat. Heat-related illnesses can come on suddenly, so make sure you are drinking plenty of water and taking in those electrolytes. Doctors say keep an eye on yourself and on others.
All of a sudden, the person might forget their name, not know where they are, and might not know who you are. Any of those kinds of signs are that it's progressing to that dangerous, very dangerous level. It starts to.
And doctors say the most severe sign here is a heat stroke, of course. Look for signs of throbbing headaches, confusion, nausea, dizziness, and also a fast, strong pulse and fainting. If a person has these signs, go ahead and take them to the doctor right away and make sure that they do not have those long-lasting effects.
So definitely look for shade. We mentioned earlier, if you are headed to the Pearl, I mean, I guess the kiddos can bring a little towel. There's a splash pad there as well.
True. One way to cool down, also maybe hitting up the rivers. I know our levels are a little down, but it is a way to cool down at least. Maybe a pool.
The rivers aren't doing great, but I would imagine there's going to be a lot of people there. You just got to find a way to stay cool with the temperatures the way they are. We're going to be up near 100 again today, so it's going to be a hot 4th of July. Hey, I want to start, though, with the drought monitor. This is just coming in hot off the presses. And here's what we're seeing as far as the drought goes. It is new, but it doesn't really show much new information because we're still in a drought. Still not a good situation out in Del Rio, from Bernie down to Medina Lake. These are areas that have been hit hard for several years now, and we're right back there again today with this new recent drought monitor. Now, could we get some rain and could we help to attack some of this drought that we've got going on? I think we can. We know the tropics can help us out this time of year, and that's what we're going to look to. Let's look at Hurricane Beryl. Still a Category 3 storm. This is the 7 a.m. update. Winds are at 120 miles per hour. It's moving west-northwest at 20 miles per hour. It is getting sheared. You can see that it's kind of lopsided, so we know there is wind shear involved here. So it probably weakens a little bit more once it gets to the Yucatan. We think a Category 1 hurricane. This is going to move just south of Cancun, winds around 90 miles per hour. Crosses over land, that weakens it more. It's probably going to look pretty messy by the time it gets into the Gulf of Mexico. But shear comes down, and the water temperatures in the Gulf are very warm. So this is fuel for this storm, and I think it regenerates and potentially turns back into a hurricane. Category 1, but this still can do some damage. So 75 mile per hour winds. This is the estimate, the forecast estimate, Monday at 1 a.m. And notice landfall could be anywhere between northern Mexico and the South Texas coast. That's what the Hurricane Center is thinking. And these are hurricane cones, like we call them. They're typically pretty accurate. So we think this is kind of the space that we've got to watch. Now, what does that mean for us? Once it makes landfall, it should start to take a northerly turn and work its way up towards San Antonio. Notice we are in the cone by the time we get into Tuesday. And with all of that being said, if you're planning on going to the coast this weekend, here's what you need to watch for. High surf, rip currents, coastal flooding. No matter where Beryl makes landfall, these are all things that we've got to be concerned about anywhere along the Texas coast. So I would caution you there first and foremost if you are headed somewhere this weekend, that if you're going to the beach or anything like that. Then let's take a look at the futurecast here. By Saturday, we're going to start to get a weak frontal boundary moving in. That's going to kick off some showers and storms. So Saturday is our first chance of rain, about a 30% chance. The front more or less dissipates. I think Sunday's kind of a quiet day, but here comes Beryl. It's going to start to throw some clouds our way by Sunday, I think, and maybe a few showers along the coast. But as we get into Sunday night and Monday, as this thing starts to move north, and again, there could be some variation here on where this goes, then we could start to see some rain here in San Antonio starting on Monday. That's when our rain chances really start to get enhanced. Now, where it goes after it makes landfall is going to have a huge bearing on what we see. If it goes due north, it passes over top of us, which is a possibility, it would be windy and wet here in San Antonio. If it more or less kind of moves along the Rio Grande, that would actually bring quite a bit of rain in here. If it were to move due west, which we have a couple models that hint at that, not sure that that's the way it'll go, but that would be a drier scenario for us. And I think until this thing gets back into the Gulf of Mexico, we're still going to have some questions about exactly how it will impact us. But I would say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, let's be prepared for some tropical downpours. And again, if you're along the Texas coast, southern Texas coast especially, you need to start making preparations now to prepare for this potential hurricane. Sunday, again, 20% chance. Saturday, 30% chance. As for today, 100. Feels like numbers anywhere from 100 to 105. And then you look at the extended forecast. We did bring temperatures down next week to account for cloud cover and rain. That looks nice. And as I said earlier, it's one of those tough situations. We don't really want a hurricane to do damage along the coast, but we will take the tropical moisture from it. And if we could get some good rain, that would be great for our drought situation.
Yeah, hopefully the good rain and not the bad damage.
Correct.
Yes, and I know you guys have been notifying people about the coast if they have plans for later on the rest of the week. Obviously, some people head out there for the weekend.
Sure, especially Sunday. I would keep a close eye on the rip currents and the surf.
Thank you, Justin.
Good stuff, Justin. All right, well, coming up after the break, if you're popping fireworks, we know San Antonio loves themselves some fireworks. We want to make sure you do it responsibly and want to let you know where it's legal. Well, we're going to have some safety tips from the Bexar County Fire Marshal's office coming up next.
To ensure a safe 4th of July, the Bexar County Fire Marshal's office is offering safety tips and introducing a new program. Bexar County firefighters demonstrated how the Designated Dowser program works.
We want someone to be a designated dowser. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's an adult sibling, brother, sister, somebody that's there that can have adequate water supply.
Make sure you have a water hose or bucket ready. Fill it halfway with water. Let fireworks cool for 10 minutes. Then drop them in the bucket.
Allow the fireworks enough time to be submerged and to get cooled down before we go ahead and dispose of those fireworks.
Last year, there were 49 firework-related emergency calls in unincorporated Bexar County. 13 incidents were related to improper disposal of fireworks.
Grown-ups should be the ones handling fireworks, guys. I know that we want to, it's a kids' holiday, they say, but the reality of it is it's too dangerous for children, okay? Make sure that if you're out there and your kids are utilizing fireworks, they have supervision, adult supervision.
Also, never relight a dud firework. If a firework does not work properly, wait 15 to 20 minutes and then soak it in a bucket of water and dispose of it properly. If you want to learn more about these safety tips or about this new program, visit KSAT.com. Reporting from Bexar County from Fire Station 124, Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
Welcome back. Looking out there with live cam. We're at 82 degrees. So we told you that the Pearl would be busy this morning with activities, but also going on. This is the Stars and Stripes on Houston Street Parade. That's going to be on Houston Street between North Laredo and North Flores, and that starts at 11 this morning. So weather should work out for that as well.
Yeah, it will.
Some bands out there too. Got to have some marching bands on 4th of July.
For sure, for sure. I love those parades. It's so much fun, and I love all the patriotism. Just San Antonio is incredible when it comes to Independence Day, and we have so many celebrations. Take it easy if you are going to be out there during the afternoon, though, because these temperatures are going to be hot, just like the last several days. Not much has changed today. Hey, pollen count is in. Molds are low at 360. They jumped up temporarily yesterday for whatever reason. We do have a little bit of Saharan dust trying to work back in too. Just heads up there. If your sinuses are bugging you, maybe that's why. High temperatures today, 100 here in San Antonio, 96 Houston, 93 Corpus Christi. There will be more triple digits across the state. It's going to be hot no matter where you go. And will we get some relief tonight? No, it'll still be hot for fireworks, but not horrible. 95 at 8 p.m., 90 at 10 p.m., 85 midnight. Where we will get some relief is hopefully this weekend and next week with some tropical moisture. We've got video for you coming out of the Cayman Islands with the latest on what's going on with Beryl. We'll show that to you here in just a few minutes, guys.
All right, Justin, real quick, one last check of the roads here. And again, things have been very quiet, but starting to see a little bit more activity out there. Check that out, Loop 410 WW White. Looks like we have a stalled vehicle out there on the far right-hand side of the highway there, 410 WW White, 10 at Callahan West, same situation there as well. Just keep in mind, if you're headed up 35, maybe you're headed out to the Canal River, going up to Lake LBJ, just keep in mind, they are not expecting too much congestion out there for 4th of July, so that's good news, as most folks kind of made their travel plans a day later, or a day earlier, excuse me. But just keep in mind, make sure to follow the rules of the road and stay safe out there as we give one more look here at our TransGuide cameras. Stephanie?
Yeah, it looks good so far. Well, the topic of human trafficking is important and it affects all of us. Increased attention has agencies stepping up the work to prevent it, but also to care for survivors.
Yeah, that's right. KSAT's Courtney Friedman found one very unique solution to recovery, and that's a small ministry in the Hill Country where 90% of that staff are sexual assault survivors.
Listen to this joy. Look at the love and the laughter. It doesn't look like a group of women who have been trafficked, but that's what it is. Not what you expected, right?
I was trafficked as a young child. As a teenager, I got pregnant at a very early age, which led to a lot of trauma unresolved in my life. I was trafficked again when I was 29. It started as a relationship with someone that I thought I could trust.
If you're a longtime KSAT viewer, you might recognize Carla Solomon and her awesome red hair. We interviewed her 5 years ago after she was rescued from a well-known trafficker who's now serving 2 30-year sentences for crimes against people like Solomon.
It resulted in me experiencing attempted murder, starvation, drug abuse, physical, sexual, emotional abuse, all the above. And in 2016, I was recovered by DPS from a hotel in Texas.
During that original interview, she talked of a ministry she was helping start, a safe haven in the Hill Country where trafficked women could heal. They named it Mercy Gate Ministries.
You were the first person who was healed in this organization. It's emotional.
So it was a full circle moment when we walked into this beautiful house, a 12-bed residential treatment center led by survivors like Solomon.
At the age of 7 and 11, I was molested, which started a whole bunch of trauma and rebellion.
Ashley Jones was trafficked twice in her life for a total of over 10 years before Houston police rescued her.
It was come and go, come and go. I would get away and I would go right back.
It's other survivors who understand why that happened and didn't make her feel shame about it. Trafficking survivors are abuse survivors, and statistics show that victims leave an average of 5 to 7 times before actually being able to cut ties.
Especially if they're very aggressive and abusive. You know, he would tell me all the time, if I didn't come back, I would show up at your mom's house or your grandma's house. I have a scar on my lip because of, you know, leaving and not wanting to come back and going back and him retaliating.
When she did break away, she landed at Mercy Gate.
Them wanting to just love me and me to heal. I couldn't comprehend that at first. And a lot of the times it would cause me to want to pack my stuff and leave.
Did it help that the people trying to love on you were survivors?
Yes, it did. Carla is a big inspiration to me. I don't want to cry, but me and Carla have known each other for a long time.
Because of that survivor connection, Jones stayed and went through the whole program, which includes trauma therapy, lots of faith-based healing, art and equine therapy, and strict schedules that teach the women accountability and responsibility.
It was very, very helpful.
So helpful that after Jones finished the program, she decided to work for Mercy Gate, passing on her healing to other women. Last October, she left the ministry to get a full-time job she loves, And she's been reunited with her kids.
You're getting everything back? All the things. So it's possible? Yes, it is very possible.
True recovery, no matter how severe the trauma.
I'm a survivor of familial trafficking. It looks a little different than what you've seen with Carla and Ashley. I was trafficked by my parents and stepfather. And so everybody as a child that I should have looked to for love and protection violated me.
Leslie Lehrman found refuge in a different recovery program and worked there for 6 years. But when her journey brought her to the Hill Country, she found Mercy Gate and felt a calling.
I developed the program. If there are things that aren't working, I look for solutions.
She oversees the program structure, the therapies, the training and schedules, and the disciplinary side.
That is a unique challenge because you don't want to re-traumatize someone, but you also want to hold them accountable to do what's right.
She has seen so many women thrive and find a sense of normalcy and happiness.
My favorite part of what we do is the family piece, seeing women restored with their children.
A stressful process that, with the help of a fellow survivor, can be easier.
I walked through reunification with my own children, and I'm able to offer them a lot of hope. I love working with CPS. And the whole reunification process.
The importance of survivor-led solutions goes far beyond the Mercy Gate home. Solomon works daily to make sure agencies big and small understand the survivor experience.
Training DPS, training law enforcement, assisting with sting operations, training a lot of service providers on trauma-informed care, which is super important.
No matter how long agents or officers have been on the force, they can't truly understand the mind of someone who's been trafficked.
Then you're not going to be effective in how you're going to approach them, interview them, assess them, or even how you're able to connect them to the resources.
She even partners with the judicial system.
A lot of times the women that we've helped in our program also have criminal charges, which are related or unrelated to their trafficking. We were able to offer continued legal education credits for attorneys and judges or any judicial officials.
Given Mercy Gate is a state-approved facility, their treatment program is an alternative for women looking at prison time.
You need the expert in that field. So to me, the survivors are the experts.
Experts that also have to choose their own recovery every day. Mercy Gate survivor staff members find that daily in their jobs.
How does this help you in your recovery?
Oh, wow. That's a big question. Watching their process helps me remember my process and sometimes give me grace when I don't hit the mark that I'm trying to hit.
As someone whose family broke her heart, Lehrman has a deep gratitude for her newfound support system.
Mercy Gate is absolutely my family now. The staff that work here, but also the women who come through the program, every one of them has a special place in my heart.
I've never experienced it, the healthiest side of life, like just people genuinely wanting to love you and care for you.
Oh, yes.
It's a long-term recovery solution that works. The proof needs no explanation. These are the sounds of redemption, of healing, and of hope.
Mercy Gate Ministries is in the middle of creating transitional housing for clients who finish the program but aren't fully ready for independence or can't afford the current expensive housing. They have the land and half of the money needed to build their 12-bed facility. They have faith they'll soon be able to carry women through the last piece of their journey, not only to independence, but to freedom. For Solutionaries, I'm Courtney Friedman.
Well, thank you, Courtney. Time now 9:40 and 82 degrees for now.
You're watching GMSA at 9. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Well, let's talk about some summer Spurs as they get set to hit the court this weekend. The newest Spurs players, those rookies, Stephon Castle and Harrison Ingram, you see them right there, have been getting accustomed to the life of an NBA player and getting to know some Spurs legends. KSAT Sports' Nick Mantis shows us how they're getting it done.
Hey guys, yeah, it's been one heck of a week for these San Antonio Spurs rookies. They got an opportunity to go to dinner with Manu Ginobili, and Harrison Ingram told us that this is one dinner that he is never going to forget.
I mean, first off, just how much of a normal person he is. You know, he's Manu Ginobili, you know, the sixth man of the year, best sixth man of all time, you know, 3-4-time champion. But, you know, talking to him, he's just a normal dude. He said he got drafted. He wasn't even suspecting it. He didn't know he was going to get drafted. Wasn't expecting to get drafted, especially the Spurs. And then come from the 56th pick, he said he was. He said it wasn't easy. I mean, he wasn't given anything. You had to earn everything. And really just for him, he said being in the Spurs organization is such a good organization for those late picks to develop and to get your chance and to get a fair shot.
As for what's next for these rookies, they're going to leave on Friday, flying out to Sacramento, California for the Sacramento, California Classic. First game of that tournament is going to be against the Charlotte Hornets on Saturday night. From the Spurs practice facility, Nick Mantis, back to you guys.
Thank you, Nick. Let's look out there at Flamingo Cam this morning. Wow, they're really out this morning. They're celebrating the 4th of July, just waiting for things to happen there at the San Antonio Zoo.
Yeah, getting a little bit of sun there, maybe a little bit of a drink of water right by the river there at the San Antonio Zoo. But they're kind of chillaxing, especially, you know what, they are taking the holiday in full force out there at the zoo. Good to see the flamingos. Oh, we see a little bit more sunshine out there.
Yeah,
shadows
the sun coming through.
You know, the one thing flamingos like is tropical conditions.
I could see that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
they're good
perhaps. Yes, well, perhaps we'll get them some tropical rain.
Oh, that would be
feel
nice.
right at home. That's a possibility. Hey, I want to show you a video. We got this in from the Cayman Islands, and this has happened, just hours ago when Beryl came through the Cayman Islands. This is some of the damage that we're seeing here. That's, that surf probably coming right over that wall. And you can see it does damage to the doors, and that surge pushes all the furniture, presumably pushes that furniture in, and you get, a lot of water damage. But yes, this is along the coast there in the Cayman Islands. It looks like they did take on some damage from this Category 3 hurricane. Pretty incredible stuff.
So is that a KSAT viewer that sent that in, or because that's KSAT Connect, right?
Correct. So this is a family member, a friend of our news director, actually. So
oh my goodness.
Yes. So we're getting some of that video in this morning. So I wanted to share that with you. 82 in San Antonio right now, 86 in New Braunfels, 79 Boerne, 80 in Kerrville, and we've got southerly winds across the board. This is ushering in some good moisture, and it's resulting in the clouds that you see there. The longer those hang around, the better off we are. We're forecasting 100 today, but I tell you what, if those clouds hang around a little bit longer, we may stay just below that number. Here's what we're watching. We want to get some details on Beryl, right? What does it mean for our forecast? Well, I think we're going to have a pretty good idea by tomorrow. And the reason for that is it finally gets into the Gulf, and because it's going to interact with the Yucatan, we got to figure out what state it's going to be in, just how strong it is, and where exactly it reemerges in the Gulf of Mexico before we get a really good idea on the path of this system. With that said, the computer models are starting to come into better agreement that it'll be somewhere across northern Mexico and deep South Texas. Hey, if you got a beach trip this weekend, we want you to be really careful because there's going to be high surf, riptides, things that are dangerous. Even if you're far removed from where this storm is, it still can cause issues really anywhere on the Texas coast, especially on Sunday. And rainfall in San Antonio, still too early to talk about amounts because this specific path that this thing takes is really going to dictate just how much rain we get. So this is the 10 a.m. update, and I was hoping this would come in. So this is the newest update. I mean, just coming in as we speak. There are the Cayman Islands there. This is a Category 3 storm. Winds now at 115 miles per hour. So that's a decrease since we last talked to you with this update. It is going to move west towards Cancun. We think probably weakening to a Category 1 hurricane, and then even more so as it reemerges into the Gulf of Mexico. Probably at this point kind of looking kind of messy, but a tropical storm nonetheless. Then we think it does re-strengthen potentially to a Category 1 hurricane. And again, it's going to depend on where it moves, but we think that the landfall will be somewhere between these red lines here. And I will tell you, I'm just looking at this in real time, so I'm kind of ingesting it with you. This track has been moved a little bit further north. Interesting. But I think that, yes, deep South Texas, northern Mexico, that's kind of the strike zone potentially. And then where does it go from there? Potentially a depression. Now, if it were to move right up the Rio Grande, I think we could get some pretty good rain out of it. There's also a possibility it moves right up towards San Antonio. I'd say there's even a possibility that this hooks a little bit to the east. If that were to happen, we'd also see less rain around here. So there's still a lot of scenarios on the table, and that's why I don't want to talk about specific rainfall totals just yet. But if you look at the spaghetti plots, it does want to take it in our general direction as we get into next week. And so we have raised rain chances as we get into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And if things continue the way they are, we'll probably raise these numbers Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And by the way, Saturday, not really related to the tropical storm, but we'll have a weak frontal boundary that could kick up some showers and storms. So 100 today, heat index around 103 at peak heating. That's going to be hot in the extended forecast. Again, this is subject to change, but we have definitely lower temperatures next week and brought those rain chances up with highs only in the 80s. We'll be right back.
Mind putting your mask back on? Super hard to eat while I'm wearing it. It's super hard to eat when you're not.
It's looking like a record opening for Deadpool and Wolverine. A new tracking out 3 weeks before the film's release. The Marvel movie on track for a $160 to $165 million debut in North America, which would be the best debut so far of 2024 and the best opening ever for an R-rated film, a record currently held by the first Deadpool movie, which came out in 2016. Deadpool and Wolverine is a Disney Marvel film. Disney's the parent company of ABC News. The new Yorgos Lanthimos film Kinds of Kindness being praised by critics for its weirdness. The latest movie from the director of Poor Things reteams Emma Stone and Willem Dafoe alongside Jesse Plemons, Joe Alwyn, and Mamadou Ache, who talked to me about how he explained the film to friends while he was making it.
I said it's kind of like a meditation on control, and that was kind of how I left it. It was 3 short stories with the ensemble cast, and I wasn't sure what it was exactly, but we were gonna try and find out. And here we are, still figuring it out.
Kinds of Kindness is in theaters now. Bridgerton fans watching a lot of Bridgerton. The 3rd season just cracked the top 10 of most watched English-language Netflix shows of all time. It's at number 10, season 2 is 9th, and season 1 is 4th. And not only is it America's birthday today, but it's also Post Malone's birthday. The chart-topping I Had Some Help singer is 29. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Cannot go wrong with a summer movie. Makes me think of Independence Day with Will Smith. Remember that one?
Man,
Yes,
that's a throwback.
That is a throwback.
Go way back there.
Yeah.
Downtown, here we go. Trans Guy, 3537. You know what? Traffic has been great all day. Just make sure to stay safe on the roads, especially around the SeaWorld area, Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, and of course the Woodlawn Lake area. There's going to be a lot of people out and about, but just be careful out there. Happy 4th of July.
I was hearing Independence Day is having like a huge resurgence. Like a lot of people watch it on Independence Day.
On July 4th, yeah.
It's a good time to share it with your kids that have never seen it before.
It's a cold classic. 100 today, 99 coming up tomorrow. We do cool temperatures a little bit this weekend. Know that there will be a chance for some isolated showers and storms Saturday. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as I said, I think we're getting closer to maybe raising some of those rain chances as we'll have some tropical moisture in here from Barrow. Stay tuned to us today, tomorrow, and certainly over the weekend.
We sure will. In the meantime, you guys have a happy 4th, have fun outdoors, and stay cool.
Stay safe, everyone. We'll be back at noon.